Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m., we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, skilled trade professions, training programs, technical schools, career exploration, career readiness skills, employment opportunities, all designed to help you make the best career decisions possible. I'm Tony Curtin, your host, and we are back with Michigan Schools and Government, and they are continuing our financial literacy series. And today we're going to be talking about how to choose a banking institution for your finances to hold your money and help you save and invest and things like that. Colleen, welcome back. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very glad to be back. As usual, I have a nice video. Let me put this on. No. There it is.
Once again, it's time for Who's Your Money Match? Let's meet our first contestant, Jennifer.
Well, this seems a little excessive.
You'll have to choose between 3 money matches. But first, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Jen. I'm looking for a long-term financial relationship, and I just really want to find that special connection with someone who cares about my future.
Oh, sorry.
Match number 1. What's your idea of a perfect date?
Well, I'd like to get to know you better, since you have a say in how the credit unions run. You know, maybe do some community service together,
Lame. Listen to this guy. He probably doesn't even know how to use the internet.
I know how to use the internet. You're not the only one with online banking and apps and stuff.
Getting back to the question, number 2, what's your perfect date?
Depends on what my shareholders say, I guess. Oh, maybe surprise you with a hidden fee or something. That sounds like a good time.
Number 3, care to top that? Guess not. Okay, number 1, what are your hobbies?
I like offering checking and savings accounts,
Mhm.
mortgages, auto loans,
Ooh.
credit cards, online banking.
I do all that stuff too.
Good to know. So, number 2, what's your best feature?
Anytime you need an ATM, I'm there for you. Unless it's another guy's ATM. When you use those, I get angry. And when I get angry, I make you pay some fees. But at least I have ATMs. Unlike number 1 over here.
What?
I've heard the rumors.
Well, you heard wrong because I have ATMs too. So do my friends all over the country. We often team up to give better surcharge-free ATM coverage.
Whatever.
Number 3, my friends say I'm a bit of a foodie. How about you? Number 1, let's say it's the weekend and you find yourself with a ton of profits. How do you spend them?
Well, I'm not for profit, so I would spend it on you. You know, do something special, like introduce a free checking account or lower the interest rates on your loans.
Aw, that's so sweet. What about you, number 2?
The profits? Oh, I'd spend those on myself.
Well, my mind is pretty much made up, but why do you think we should pair up?
Because I'm a bank, and I am popular, and I am very rich because my customers pay me a lot, and I am very rich.
And I think you should choose me because I'm a credit union, and I want you to make smart decisions, not just the most popular ones.
Super rich. Just saying.
Yeah, okay, credit union, let's roll.
What?
Ah, cool! Whee!
I just don't get it. I'm a popular guy. Am I right, Pig?
Okay. All right. So, choosing your financial institution. Most people start out going wherever their parents go. You know, wherever your parents have an account, that's probably where you start, which is fine, but you may not want to keep that financial institution your whole life. You may want to shop around. They are not all created the same. So just like anything else, you should get the one that fits with you, not just because it's close, not just because, you know, your friend banks there, but the one that that meets your needs. So starting with the basics, bank versus credit union. Bank, I think the term bank, everybody knows. If I said, what is a credit union? Certainly less known. I honestly did not know what the difference was before I started working here. I didn't even know that, you know, what a credit union was until I was an adult. So it's very logical that you just get started, you go where your parents go, and then you stay there, and that's it. So we are going to have you choose what works best for you. A credit union. What makes a credit union different? Member owned. You heard him say that. Member owned, meaning the members. Members are our word for customers, because they're not customers. We're all a member of the credit union. The biggest difference is the not-for-profit. You know, Dunkin' Donuts, that's a for-profit business. Salvation Army, Red Cross, those are nonprofit. Credit unions are in the middle with a not-for-profit, meaning we earn revenue. You know, we assess fees, we collect interest, but what we spend those gains on are the members. So instead of in the pocket of, you know, our president, Pete, it goes into, you know, an extra scholarship or an extra teacher grant. So the money kind of just keeps circling in the same group of people. It is run by a volunteer board of directors elected by credit union members. So think about that. Volunteer. Someone is on a board of how a credit union should run, what directions it should go in. Is it doing the right thing? As a volunteer job, they do not get paid. And members can vote. We can vote out people in the board. We can vote in new people from the board. It is a back and forth relationship. Member eligibility. Now, you have to be eligible to have a membership at a credit union. Well, we'll get there. Membership meaning you fit the requirements. And you're thinking already, oh man, requirements, I'm probably not going to meet them. That's okay. Each credit union has different requirements, and they're usually very easy to meet. Shareholder, bank. We're moving to a bank. What's the difference? What do we know about banks? Well, it's a shareholder-owned institution. You know, the customers, it's not owned by the customers. The customers have no say, clearly with the way things have happened with the big banking industry and Wells Fargo. The customers do not have any say in how it's run. It's run by paid board of directors who keep the profit. I mean, same thing you see in movies, you know, the JP Morgan Chase, you know, the big board of directors, you see them sitting at this giant table, you know, making decisions about the direction of the company. Okay, that's a bank. They're getting paid and they're working to make themselves the most profit, right? That's a business. That's what a business does. That's fair. So again, customers have no say. Anyone is eligible to be a customer. Now, if you come in and you know, somehow you may not be able to get an account due to a financial reason, but there's no eligibility. You don't have to live in any certain area or have any certain job. Anyone can go to any bank. And a piggy bank. Please go to a financial institution and not keep your money at home in a piggy bank or whatever that piggy bank is to you, a shoebox or a coffee can. It's something, if it's gone, it's gone. It's never coming back. It's not going to earn you any money. You can't access it, when you're out somewhere. So it's really beneficial to have your money where you can access it. And I believe that's what we're getting into next. Exactly. Think about your access. Access is how can you get your money? Wherever you're sitting right now, how could you get $20 cash, right? There is a way. How could you send me $20 cash? How could you send, Xfinity $20? You need to be able to know not just how you can access your own money, but in different ways from different places, to send it to different places. Banks have many ATMs. When you think of a bank, you think of like Chase or Bank of America, Flagstar, these big giant companies that have, probably thousands of ATMs. And I've definitely heard people say, well, I don't want to go to credit union. Credit unions are too small. I want to make sure I can get to an ATM. I mean, MSGCU has 17 branches, so we have 17 ATMs. Someone might want to go to a bank for more ATMs. However, they didn't realize that that credit unions are community-based. They have is a cooperative, so you can use other credit union ATMs without getting a service fee. So if you're on, visiting a college up at Michigan State University Federal Credit Union and you use their bank, or use their ATM, you won't have a fee. If you, are on vacation down in Florida, you see a Suncoast Credit Union, you can use that ATM for free. You can see a Chase Credit Union, you may see a Chase Bank or Flagstar Bank, and you can also use their ATMs, but it's not free, right? Any ATM will allow you to access your money, but are you getting a fee from your financial institution and the financial institution it's coming from? A lot of people think because MSGCU only has 17 branches and we have 17 ATMs, that those are the only 17 free ATMs you can use. Absolutely not. There's, I think it's got the number in here. Yeah, 30,000 co-op ATMs. So in reality, it's many, many more than banks. And it can be almost any credit union. Whereas if it's a Chase, you need to go to a specific, Chase ATM. People go to ATMs less and less, but every now and again, you need cash, you got to pay in cash, you got to get it right now. It's probably after hours. You want it fast. You don't want to have to drive far. You want to be able to see it. So know where you can go. Oh, where's the closest credit union? There's credit union ATMs also sometimes in like a 7-Eleven or like a Dairy Mart. You've seen ATMs in stores, and they have fees, definitely. But there are some credit union ones if you look at, what the company is. So technology, banks, especially the larger ones, are known for, being on the cutting edge of technology. It was banks that first, started mobile banking, that first had remote deposit check capture, the first ones that could do, mobile bill pay. Credit unions have that. You can pay mobilely. You can do all of the things that I just mentioned. You can do them now, but there was a time when it was brand new and, banks were able to use it. Because credit unions spend their money on ourselves, we are not, putting tons of money into getting the newest, greatest technology. So if you are someone who's like, oh no, right now it's pretty even. but I'm trying to think of something that might come out. I don't know, facial recognition money or something that bank may have that a credit union may not. So that could be a negative. But again, right now, I really can't think of anything that a bank would offer technologically at this point that a credit union does not have. All right, think about your money. On average, largest credit unions have lower fees than the largest banks. I mentioned we have 17 MSGCU branches. As a rule, credit unions are usually a smaller area. They're not, completely nationwide. They're in a state or, in a geographical area. There are some, like Navy Federal, that's all over the country. There are some, like North Carolina State Employees Credit Union, that has over 200 branches just in North Carolina. So I'm talking about credit unions, but again, each one is specific. Each one is different. An average monthly bill payment fee. So think of the fees that you could be saving money on. We already mentioned ATM fee, bill payment fee, usually not a bill payment fee, but a monthly maintenance fee if you have a checking account. If you do not meet other requirements, I think I mentioned this way back when, that Chase was getting rid of as long as you get a direct deposit with your paycheck, it waives the maintenance fee, and that's no longer true. And it's like $11 a month. Oof. So not having to pay a monthly maintenance fee, maybe an online bill payment fee, fee to use another credit or another institution, much cheaper. And that's if you have to, for instance, you have an account with MSGCU, a credit union, and you're taking money out from Chase. You'll still be charged by Chase, but not by MSGCU. And the overdraft fee. This is the big one. This is the really big one. It's usually $25, $30, on average per purchase. It's one of those things I'll tell you over and over and over again. Do not get an overdraft fee. But people aren't perfect. What if you do? You made a mistake. You want it to be cheaper, right? You absolutely want it to be cheaper. If you're thinking about, what is my money doing? I know it's just sitting there, but what's it doing? Credit unions, it's building. Let me back up. Because credit unions are not for profit, they are able to offer higher interest rates on savings accounts, so that the money you have sitting in a saving account will earn, more. They're able to lower their interest rates on, like car loans and home loans. It will have a better financial offering. I can't say blanket every credit union will give you a better deal than every bank, but as a rule, a not-for-profit institution is going to offer you something more palatable, more that you can work with, freer than a bank who is in it literally for the sales. Another thing I've heard why people won't bank at a credit union is, well, your money's not protected. There's the FDIC, and the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, they're responsible to cover your account if something happens. So let's say the bank burns down, or there's some sort of hack and all your records are deleted. Something is, bank got robbed and all the cash was taken away. It's less likely nowadays because everything so much is electronic, but you are protected by a bank, $250,000 a person if something happens to your money, that was the bank's fault. Credit unions have the same thing. National Credit Union Administration, NCUA, is just a different organization that provides the same thing. It federally insures credit unions. So if it's a hack, if it's a robbery, if it's a fire, you are just as covered, $250,000 per person. So you can confidently say, oh, it's not any riskier. One or the other is certainly not any riskier. Think about your satisfaction. Now, this is an important part because so many financial institutions will offer the same things. They all have mobile banking. They all have, credit cards, and they all have, free ATMs. But what makes them different, is the people. The people who work there, the people that you call on the phone from the call center, the people that you talk to when you go in, when you have questions, when you're at the teller line. Credit unions are more willing to help. And let me phrase it this way. Let's say someone walked into a bank and they apply for $2,000 loan. And the bank looks at their credit and says, "Ooh, wow, you have terrible credit. This is risky. We're probably going to, if this is a car loan, we're probably going to foreclose or repossess the car. So we're not going to approve it. It's too risky." A same person goes to a credit union. Now we look at the credit, we see the same, reasons that we would feel uncomfortable giving them the loan, but okay, now we can sit down and talk. All right, well, I want you to get it. So here's some of the things that you can do to improve your credit. And then at that point, you can get a loan. Another option is a secured credit card. A secured credit card would be you hand the institution $500, and that $500 just sits in an account. And now you have a credit card with a balance that you can, with a limit of $500. So even with poor credit, a secured credit card is an option. So they're more likely to work with you as opposed to you're risky today and you're not going to make me profit today, so no thank you. Whereas we see it as, it's kind of a rough time today, but if we help you get through this, you'll stick with us. We don't want you to just get through this. We want you to continue to improve, continue to learn and have a relationship. I thought that was funny at the beginning of the video when she says, I'm looking for a long-term relationship, which that's exactly what it is. Literally. I mean, even if you move around, you can keep the same, keep the same financial institution. You don't necessarily have to change. You want to build a relationship with them over time. You want to know the branch manager's name. You want them to know you. They'll start to maybe expect you on certain days, but it's really friendly. It's not a scary place. You should bring your kids, into the bank or credit union, talk to the tellers, this is where they protect their money. So as a rule, because of that, credit unions have a much higher customer satisfaction. You may be someone that says, I never go in the branch. I only do online, and I really don't care about customer service. Well, okay, well, that's fine. Whereas someone else, that may be, crucial to them. The eligibility. So I think we get back to what makes you eligible to be part of a credit union. Well, it depends on the credit union. The reason they were started was to kind of help bring up certain groups. There would be a religious group that had their own credit union, or an educational school group, or a ethnic community. So that was the kind of original intention of we'll all help each other and it'll all kind of come back to us. They have very much expanded. There are still religious credit unions, credit unions, a Ford credit union based on where you work, or, Catholic Vantage. There's a Ukrainian credit union. There's many. Now, Michigan schools and government, okay? That's where I'm at. So what is the requirement? What do you have to have or do in order to be a member? I don't know, Michigan schools and government. So I would guess maybe something, you have to be in school, or you have to work at a school, or you have to work in government. No, you have to live in Michigan. I mean, even if you live in the Upper Peninsula in a tent, if you have an address, you can get an account. If you are living in California and you call our call center and say, I'd like to open an account, you can't do that. But you are fine. You in Michigan, it's not a test. It's not any of that. Michigan State University Federal Credit Union, once you finish going to school there, you can still keep the account. Your spouse can have an account there. Your children can have an account there. It's not as this really prestigious club. A lot of times they're based on geography. If you're in this county or if you're in this state. So certainly look into it and ask, because you do need to meet some sort of eligibility requirement, but they've gotten much, much looser. Let me bring up something. One moment, I want to show a handout. Okay. Okay, I see something in the chat. Oh, how much does it cost to open an account? Great question. The short answer is 0, but the longer answer is it depends where you go. If you are opening a savings account, you need $5. Everybody's got to have at least $5 in your savings account all the time. That is the minimum balance. So you need $5. You got to keep $5 in there all the time. A checking account, most cases you do not need any money to open it. You can just open it right there. Now, our credit union, we just, I think in 2021, changed our rules to $25. You have to deposit at least $25. So there's no fee. It doesn't cost anything to open the account. You're not paying $5 for us to do the paperwork. That's your $5 that's sitting in the account. So you'll never pay, just to apply for a credit card or, just to open an account. Keep an account open. Well, a checking account does not have a minimum balance. So you can keep, a penny for a long, long, long time in checking account. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's possible. Again, let me put it this way. Checking accounts sometimes have minimum balances fee-wise. You can have whatever balance, but if you dip below a certain number, we're going to charge you a fee. Savings accounts, some banks have minimum balances of $500, $1,000. So really ask questions, really read that fine print, because sure, you can open a savings account and they'll be happy to. But if the fine print says you need to keep $1,000 in here at all times, that's pretty important. The time if you do nothing, it's not so much how much does it take to keep it open. You can, once you've opened it, you can keep that account for the rest of your life as long as that company still exists. But if you do nothing, you have a savings account with MSGCU, and then you move away and we haven't heard from you, you haven't put any deposits in 6 months, we're going to send you a letter. We're going to contact you. Oh, your account is inactive. Your account is dormant. Please, make a deposit or something, or we're going to start charging inactivity fees. So in 6 months, if you do nothing, hopefully you'll, see the reminder and deposit a quarter and deposit a dime, as long as you have some record. But you will, if that person just didn't do anything, they would be getting fees month after month after month for inactivity. So make sure that is something you're looking at. If you don't want to deal with your savings account, you're like, well, I want to put the money in there and then I never want to touch it again. I wasn't planning on adding anything else to it. Okay, have it set up your checking account to automatically transfer $1, at the end of every month, or every 15th of the month, or transfer 50 cents, so it's automatically set up to make sure that the account at least stays open without fees. Are there overdraft fees? Overdraft fees are in checking accounts. A checking account, you have your debit card that represents how much money you have. If you purchase something and you spend more than you have in your account, that is the overdraft fee. That is the $30 fee or $25 fee. Savings account, you really can't overdraft in a savings account because you don't have a debit card. You have to really go into the branch or go to the ATM to get cash. So the only thing would be just taking out the cash and paying for something with that. So you're not going to go into the negative on savings, but you really do not want to go into the negative on checking. We've got these great mobile apps that fingerprint login. You can check, oh, there's my balance, that's good. Oh, there we go. So think about what's important to you. I mean, your money is important, obviously, but what else? Do you really want 24-hour customer service? Do you want somewhere that has Saturday hours? Is it really just the fees? You want somewhere with the lowest fees? You want somewhere with the best interest rates? So think about it. Even if you have an account now, even if you like where you're at, it's just the idea you don't necessarily have to stay there forever. You know what? You can have an account with MSGCU and Chase and Flagstar. You can have relationships with more than one institution. And a lot of people do. They'll have a, checking and savings at one place and then a loan through somewhere else, and then maybe a different loan through someone else. So you can get all of those things kind of one-stop shopping, but you can also have multiple. And let me say this about credit unions. If you have a credit union account from when you're young, even in your teens, you've had an account in your teens, and now you're 21, 22, maybe 19, you want to get a credit card, you want to get an auto loan, man, your credit, you're too new, man, you really wouldn't be approved. But hey, you've been with us for 8 years, and we can look back on your 8 years of history with us and look at that. You've never overdrafted, and you've always had a positive balance. So you know what? We'll give it to you, or we'll work with you. If you're comparison shopping, that's fine. But the one thing that you have with your financial institution is a history with them, right? So you want to be able to use that history. I've been banking here for 30 years, and I'm very trustworthy. You know what? Okay, you, or maybe it's a risky 18-year-old that they would never give the loan to, but their parents, have been banking here for decades, and they really trust the parents. Things like that. If you're getting a credit card and you're only offered these extremely high interest rates, look into credit unions. always check with the credit union, whatever it is. You're looking for a checking account, you're looking for an auto loan, comparison shop. And I really recommend having a credit union account. And it's my job. I mean, my salary is paid from the not-for-profit. I'm not a salesperson, I'm just an educator. So I go out and I educate and I talk to people and I give stuff away and I give away scholarships and I give teachers grants. So all that fun stuff, but I'm not sales. I mean, of course, I'd love for you to open an account and I can answer your questions, but my job is not to get so many people to open accounts, right? It's to educate so many people. So if you are better, if the 100 students, talking to 100 students right now, if all of you are in a slightly better financial situation at the end of, these series, great. That's exponential. We want everyone to be in a better position. And then with that new knowledge, with that comfort, confidence, you can just keep moving forward. So your financial institution, it's personal. Again, you can change. You don't necessarily have to leave. You can keep an account there, but just never really use it. If you have an account with someone, a joint account, let's say, your parents and yourself, or your sibling and yourself, or your boyfriend and yourself, both names are on the account. Both names can access the money. Both names can access 100% of the money. So where you have your checking account matters. How you can access the money, how easy it is to access the money, how helpful it is when you need help. Do they have solutions for you when you need help? All of these things start to become more important as you get more involved with your finances. The more bills you pay, the more, loans you're trying to get, and well, I got insurance, and start with the credit union. You can certainly go wherever you like, but it's a really positive, great thing that I think just a lot of people don't know about. They just haven't heard, or they just think a bank and a credit union is the same thing. It's like a private school and a public school. They're pretty much the same, but there's some real key differences. The eligibility. Do you meet the requirements? Usually the very loose requirements. Profits. Is your company just trying to make money? Can you trust what they're saying? They're very nice, but are they saying that because they think that's really the best deal for me, or are they saying that because they have to meet, their monthly sales quota, or they're just trying to get a commission off something? And I'm not saying all banks are sneaky, but you've got that in the back of your mind, right? And then access, right? You can get your money just as easy, probably easier, from a credit union. And the same thing, getting cash back at a register. If you hit cash back, I want $20, that's exactly the same. You can do that from a bank, you can do that from a credit union, you can skip the ATMs altogether. Ask around, ask your friends, ask older people, where have you been? Why do you like them? Even if you're not considering changing, it's just good research. Why do you bank there? What is it that you like about them? What would you like more? If there's anything you could change. Have you been there for so many years? What have you done with it? When I first started working here, I just had a savings account. Now, oh my goodness, now I've got like 8 accounts through here. But it just makes it all convenient to be in one spot. And credit unions, as a rule, are more local. So the person you're talking to on the phone is probably in the same city or at least nearby. It's not a, call center company, the calls get directed to somewhere in, middle America. It's people who talk to you every day in your neighborhood. Were there any other questions about the differences between a bank and a credit union?
You guys got any questions?
Oh, and scholarships. Scholarships, we give out a lot of scholarships. So always check every credit union. Even if it's not MSCCU, please go apply to every credit union scholarship out there. There's a lot, they all give them away.
The one that you guys are offering expires on the 31st of this month, correct?
Yes.
Good deal.
Well, we have many. We have like 4 different types of scholarships for high schoolers. There's a skilled trade one, there's going into education one, and then the others are, based on essay and grades and all of those things.
And they all have different expiration dates or deadline
Nope,
dates?
nope, it's all the same.
Okay. Well, again, great presentation, a lot of great information. If there aren't any more questions, then we will bring this session to a close. And thank you so much, Colleen, for your time. And thank you everyone for joining, and we will see you all next time. All right, good deal.
I don't know, I kept getting so tongue-tied today. Mouth is dry. Could you send me the latest numbers for the end
Sure.
of February?
Sure, no problem. No problem.
All right.